Okay, hello there. So this is the last talk for today for the whole of STEAM. So my name is David Graham, and I'm going to talk about the history of Lego in 100 sets. Unfortunately, I don't have the 100 sets here today, but I've got them in pictures, most of which have come from brickset.com. Because I'm talking about 100 sets, I've got my notes with me, because otherwise I'll get lost and talk about the wrong one. So apologies for having notes. So this idea was taken from the history of the world in 100 objects. This was a very popular Radio 4 programme by Neil McGregor, who's the director of the British Museum. There were 100 50-minute programmes, and it started with an Egyptian mummy and ended with a solar-powered lamp. Did anyone listen to that programme? Oh, very good. So a reviewer said of this programme, it says, to write a history of the world is mad, to write it using only 100 objects makes it impossible, and to do it on the radio is to move from the impossible to the perverse. So here at least we're not on the radio. So it's difficult to choose the 100 sets to represent the history. Brickset lists 9,500 sets, and in some years there's 5 new themes were released. So I must admit that my area of interest in Lego is Lego trains, so there might be a bias towards that theme. It's also difficult to know where to start. So in 1932, Ole Christensen started making wooden toys, and the pull-along wooden duck was one of the most popular. In 1947, he started making plastic toys. But 2 years previously in the UK, Hilary Page, he's a man, not a woman, made kitty cat bricks. And Ole Kirk saw these and modified the design slightly and called them automatic binding bricks. In 1958, Ole Kirk patented the stud and tube interlocking system to give the bricks that we know today. And most early sets were just small boxes of bricks, and the colours were limited to red, blue, white, yellow and clear. The stud and tube design is important. It's so that the bricks go together easily, stay together and come apart easily. And this is called clickability. I'm sure some competitors of Lego haven't got this stay together, go together, come apart easily. The fire station was here right from the beginning. Note the small metal vehicle. The small size, the doors were only 3 bricks high. To get through 100 sets we have to whiz through them, so if you blink you might miss 1 or 2. The gift box, most early sets were just boxes of bricks. Children could use their imagination. The gift box, most early sets were just, the big town set. This is one of the early iconic sets. And here Lego invents the wheel. This is the start of Lego vehicles. Here we have this house with the garage. Note the plates on the roof. These were just a third the height of bricks. Slope or roof bricks were released shortly after. And note also the flat trees there. So here it gets exciting. This is the start of trains. We have push-along and battery-operated trains were available, and trains were going to be a consistent part of the range for the next 50 years. It's interesting that half the sets in early catalogues were trains. Now trains are just a very small part of Lego City. The blue and the blue track and white sleepers looked a bit strange, but if you remember then, there was only 5 different colours to choose from. So here we've got fire stations continue. Now they've got brick-built vehicles. And here we've got the start of Duplo. The bricks were twice as large as standard bricks, and they were for preschool children. And this was going to be a very popular range. He is. This was the forerunner of Lego Technic. And Homemaker, this is really the start of Lego for girls. And here we have the Lego family. This was one of the biggest selling products so far, and it was popular with both girls and boys. Note the quite large figures. Here we have hobby cars. This was for experienced builders. And was this the start of adult fans of Lego? And here we have Legoland. Here we've got the first minifigs. They had black faces and they had non-moving arms and legs. And the doors are now 4 bricks high. You see the doors get bigger and bigger as time goes on. And here we have the first Duplo figures. They were just a head and a brick body. And here we have Technic. And this theme was going to go on forever. This theme was here to stay. So I'm trying to divide it up into different ages, and here we have Lego really as we know it now. Town. Here we have modern style minifigs. They've got faces, they've got movable arms and legs, and the doors are now 5 bricks high. Recently, they've been increased to 6 bricks high, so minifigs wearing hats can go through the doors. Here we've got road plates. This is so you could build your own town with straights, curves and junctions. And the yellow castle. This was the start of a very successful theme. But you wonder, why did they choose yellow? Grey bricks were available this time, but to Lego, primary colours were very important, especially in this age. Space. This became quickly a universal success. Here we have Fabuland. This theme was not very successful, but surprising that it ran for 10 years. And this is the first Lego theme to be extended into books, clothing and TV, but it never really caught on. Scala was an unsuccessful attempt at Lego for girls. So trains again, we had push-along trains, battery trains and 12-volt trains. There was trains for all ages, and this was really the start of great Lego trains. As I've said, there's always a police station and a fire station in the range. And you could get boxes of bricks, basic bricks, so children could use their imagination. And these were in 3 different age groups. Here we have a Duplo baby. Most babies had one of these rattles. They were given free to new mothers. And again with trains, but here we got the first Duplo train. This was very popular. Note the figures, they had movable arms and legs. So for the next few years, Lego continued producing their popular themes. These were town, train, space and castle. So at Castle, here we've got a development of Castle. Now we've got grey bricks, changed from yellow. We've got Lego pneumatic. Lego is now becoming much more technical. And we've got town using light and sound and a 9-volt battery. Here we have Space Monorail. This was very popular, but unfortunately there were too many specialised elements for it to be a commercial success. You had yellow buckets for Duplo and red buckets for Lego. You probably all know that these buckets are very good for storage. So Robin Hood, as Castle was well liked, they produced another Castle theme. And Pirates, they were a very successful theme. And Space Police, as space was very popular, they produced another space theme. Model Team, For advanced builders, maybe for adults. Duplo Zoo, this is a popular Duplo theme. Here is the Technic Control Center. This maybe is the start of programming in Lego. M-Tron, yet another space theme. And back to trains again. So the 12-volt trains were replaced with 9-volt trains. They were more simple to operate and they became very sought after. So town, you have to remember, town has always been very important. Paradisa, this was yet another attempt at Lego for girls. Now remember, there's always a police station and a fire station in the range. These are always big sellers. We've got Ice Planet, yet another popular space theme. And this is the first battery-operated Duplo train. It was not as popular as the original push-along train. Here we have Castle Dragon Knights. It's interesting that children think a castle should have a dragon. And here we've got Belleville. Yet another try Lego for girls. Note the large figures. And Islanders. As pirates were well received, another pirate theme. Aquazone, a new adventure theme. Primo, these were rounded bricks for babies. Only one brick in the set is compatible with Duplo, and this theme didn't last very long. Western, this was a popular theme, and recently it's been revived with the Lone Ranger. Scala, yet another unsuccessful attempt at Lego for girls. Look at the figures, they look a bit like Barbie. So Lego was wondering, was the building of Lego bricks still relevant to today's children? With electronic games, the toy industry was changing. And Lego couldn't just continue churning out the classic play themes, such as Castle and Space. So Lego tries to reinvent itself. So Connect was for a time was a competitor, and Snap was an unsuccessful attempt to copy this. But all you could do with Connect was build roller coasters and big revolving fairground wheels. Mindstorms was a best-selling single product. Interestingly, the fans were more keen on this product than the Lego executives. There were blogs written by fans showing other users how to expand their capabilities. Here we have Rescue. This is town with a touch of space. You can see it looks slightly like a spaceship. And again, here we've got Extreme, which is also town with a touch of space. So Star Wars was the first licensing deal. There were many reservations from the Lego executives about this, but over half the toys sold in the shops are licensed products. If Lego don't go into licensed themes, they're going to miss out on a very large market area. This became very popular and it helped Lego survive over the difficult years. Winnie the Pooh was the first Duplo licensing deal. Later licensing themes with Duplo were Bob the Builder, Cars, Thomas the Tank Engine and Toy Story. Slizzer was a new market idea, or a new idea. It was a precursor for Bionicle. Lego's key market area is 5 to 9 year old boys, and they like collectible, buildable action figures. Here is Rock Raiders, a new theme with a storyline. So Lego and Steven Spielberg could make Movie Maker catch on. For stop motion films, all you need is a camera and software. There's no need to buy extra sets. Here's Knight's Kingdom, yet another castle theme. For the Euro and the World Cup, they produced football. Other sports followed afterwards. Jack Stone was designed for children who can't build, but for the people who could build, it provided no challenge. It was described as one of the worst Lego themes ever. Bionicle was very popular with a popular and profitable theme, and it helped Lego survive over the difficult years. And it would continue for the next 10 years. You could get Bionicle t-shirts, lunchboxes, backpacks, etc. Harry Potter was another very well-received licensed theme. And races, this was a long-running theme. Surprisingly, the Duplo brand name was dropped and it was renamed Lego Explorer. And the IntelliTrain came along and it was packed with electronics, but was too complex for young children. Later, Lego reintroduced the Duplo brand name. The Blacksmith Shop was the first set to be designed by a fan, Daniel Siskin, who designed and sold kits based on train and castle on his website brickmania.com. And this set sold so well that Lego took notice and licensed it from him. You wonder if this is what all Lego fans wish for, that Lego will take one of our sets that we built and make it into a real set. Daniel Siskin now produces World War II tanks, so I don't think they'll be copying his designs in the future. Galador is described as Lego without bricks, which is a copy of Action Man, and this series was a flop. Orient Expedition was a new adventure theme. Clickets was yet another not very successful girls theme. World City, here city looks like space. So in 2003, this was the year that Lego made its first loss. And if it couldn't turn itself around, there was a danger of it being taken over by Mattel. And Kirk Kell Christensen, the grandson of the founder, became the boss of Lego. Duplo is still one of the best-selling themes. Note the new rounded figures. Quattro is 4 times the size of standard Lego bricks and was designed for 1-year-olds. And the range only lasted a few years. But you wonder, was there a need for this? Designer is back to basics. Here we've got a well-designed and realistic fire truck. The Lego designers actually spent time at a fire station. And City is one of the best-selling themes. City relies on 90% replication to deliver what the fans have come to expect, and 10% innovation, adding enough new details to make the set feel fresh. Exoforce was a follow-on from Bionicle, and it was also our best-selling theme. The popular 9-volt trains were replaced with battery-operated trains and plastic track. There was much fan opposition. One problem was that the base, the battery box and sensor were one large part. This was later corrected. And Lego turned its most ardent critics into collaborators by inviting key people to Billund to work with them on the new range. The idea for modular buildings was suggested by adults, and they were designed for adults, and each release is eagerly awaited. Star Wars, this theme just keeps running and running. It is also one of the best-selling themes. The set shown here, the Millennium Falcon, is one of the most expensive, selling for around £350. Indiana Jones is a well-liked license theme, it's realistic and it's got soldiers. Here we've got an example of the decision that has to be made with every new set. Is the cost of £50,000 for a new mould, for a new element, worth it? Here they decided that Indiana Jones's whip was important for the cost of a new mould and it would be justified. Mindstorms was a great success following fan involvement in the design. This is the relaunch of the sought-after pirate theme. This was well received and recently has been revived with Pirates of the Caribbean. Power Miners is a new best-selling theme with a storyline. These themes are described as fictional but real. There's been many different LEGO games have been produced, but how long can this go on for? Note the dice and microfigs. This was described as obviously LEGO, but never seen before. Architecture is another new idea. It was developed by a fan and it's sold at a premium price. It took LEGO into new marketing areas. You expect the building to be large, but in fact it's quite small, only about this size. Collectible minifigures are very sought after, but is the enthusiasm for this waning after the 11th series? Prince of Persia. The film was a flop and the LEGO sets were a flop. Will the Lone Ranger be similar? Successful films with sequels are required to make successful LEGO themes. Other licensed themes included Batman, Indiana Jones, Lone Ranger, Pirates of the Caribbean, Spider-Man, SpongeBob SquarePants, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Hobbit, and Toy Story. Castle Kingdom is a revival of the castle theme. Hero Factory is another Bionicle type theme. Cuso. Here fans design a model. If it gets 10,000 online votes, LEGO would review it for possible production. And the creators get 1% of the total net sales. Ninjago is another Bionicle type theme. It was an instant success. It had the highest single year sales for any LEGO invented theme. And Friends. After much customer testing and research, at last a successful girls theme. Note the new minifigs. The set shown here, an invention workshop, shows that not all the sets are about beauty salons and horses. This theme sold twice as much as was expected. Lord of the Rings is a popular theme with adults. I think it was an excuse to revive the castle theme. Superheroes is a popular licensed theme. Legends of Chima. But is the interest in Bionicle type of theme waning? So I was wondering how to end. So I started with a duck, so I end with a duck. So LEGO has come. So promotional sets are available on ferries, aeroplanes and new LEGO store launches. This duck was given to employees on LEGO's 75th anniversary. So I got some of this information from Brick by Brick. Others I had to look at Brickset, and LEGO give a history section, and some of the LEGO books tell you about what they think are the best sets. That's how I try to work out what 100 sets to choose. Are there any questions? Okay, thanks very much.